Every trader worships the idea of a perfect system. But what if I told you the market doesn't reward perfection-only truth? Before we go deeper, let me ask you, what's the one trading belief you hold that you're afraid might be wrong? Comment it below. Your answer will shape how you grow. I've spent years studying Jesse Livermore. Just the myth, not just the legend, but the man behind the market. The man who understood something that 99% of traders today still ignore. The market is not a place you conquer. It's a place you survive long enough to understand. And every theme, the momentum theme, the trend theme, the pivot theme, the tape-reading theme flows from one single core idea. Livermore lived and died by price. Only confirms what human nature already decided. But before you think this is another motivational trading video, let me slow the moment down. The way a documentary camera drifts over an empty trading floor after a catastrophic day. Imagine this. The screens are still glowing, the charts still scrolling. The market closed hours ago, yet the air feels heavy, like the ghosts of decisions still linger in the room. Because that's what trading is. A room full of ghosts. Ghosts of missed moves. Ghosts of overconfidence. Ghosts of hesitation. I've felt every one of them. And what I learned, what Livermore learned long before me, is that trading isn't about finding the right strategy, the right setup, or the right broker. It's about discovering the dominant theme of your own psychological pattern. Livermore's most popular trading theme wasn't about buying breakouts, shorting weakness, or catching turning points. Those were mechanics. His real theme was alignment. Alignment between market behavior and personal behavior. Alignment between trend and temperament. Alignment between timing and discipline. He believed every trader had a personal weakness that mirrored a personal talent. And until the trader saw both sides clearly, he'd be stuck in a cycle of wins, erased by catastrophic losses. In this documentary-style exploration, I want to take you into that cycle. Not as a historian, not as a lecturer, but as someone standing beside you, someone watching the charts with you, someone feeling the same adrenaline spike when a candle rips upward, the same panic when it rips down. Because Livermore didn't trade patterns. He traded emotion, and every emotion leaves a footprint on the tape. So let me set the stage. This journey is about the single philosophy that Livermore used to build fortunes, and the same philosophy he failed to follow when he lost everything. It's the theme every modern trader secretly battles, even if they don't know it. The theme of the right moment. Livermore said, "It is not the thinking that makes the big money. It's the sitting." But sitting requires a war inside yourself. A war between impulse and patience. Between wanting action and waiting for confirmation. Between fear of missing the move and fear of taking the wrong move. And that war, if you study it long enough, becomes the most powerful trading theme in your life. It becomes the compass that tells you when to press your bets and when to stand still. It becomes the anchor that keeps you from chasing, and the engine that pushes you to strike boldly. Tonight, in this story, in this 20-section deep dive, we're going to dismantle Livermore's greatest theme and rebuild it in the language of today's markets. Momentum, liquidity, emotional cycles, bull traps, bear traps, and the silent periods no one respects. Because if you can master the theme, the tactics become obvious. This is the beginning, the quiet before the storm. The part of the documentary where the narrator says something that will make sense only after everything falls apart. So let me say this: the market reveals its truth only to those patient enough to wait for it, and disciplined enough to follow it. This is Livermore's theme, his most powerful one, and it's time we explore it in a way he would have wanted, through psychology, story, and the raw honesty of a trader who has seen both sides of the cycle. The market doesn't confuse you. It simply reflects the confusion you brought into it. What's the biggest internal battle you face while trading? Fear, greed, hesitation, or impatience? Comment below. Your answer might reveal more than you think. There's a paradox at the center of every trader's life, one so deep, so subtle. Most never recognize it until years of losses have carved the truth into their soul. It's this: we want certainty in a place designed to punish certainty, and we fear uncertainty in a place where uncertainty is the only advantage. That is, the trader's inner conflicted, lifelong tension between wanting control and needing surrender. Let me tell you something that took me years to admit. There were times I didn't trade the market. I traded the fantasy of who I wanted to be. I wanted to be the patient trader who waited for perfect setups. I wanted to be the disciplined trader who followed rules. I wanted to be the fearless trader who cut losses fast. I wanted to be all of that. But inside, I was the opposite. And here is where the paradox becomes deadly. You cannot trade better than you are. Your account balance is the mirror of your emotional balance. This is the truth. Livermore understood painfully well. He said, "The game taught me the game." It didn't teach him charts. It didn't teach him setups. It taught him himself. He learned that every price tick tested a part of his psychology. Every rally challenged his discipline. Every sell-off challenged his confidence. Every sideways market challenged his patience. The real market isn't on the screen, it's in the mind. This is where the conflict deepens. Every modern trader wants to contradictory things. We want fast profits, but slow risk. We want high certainty, but low emotional discomfort. We want big wins, but small waiting periods. Livermore recognized this conflict in all traders, and he knew the market exploited it ruthlessly. He once noted that human nature didn't change, and because of that, the market never changed. But what he didn't say, what he lived instead, was the tragic truth behind that statement. If human nature never changes, then most traders never evolve. They chase, they panic, they flip positions, they swear they'll never repeat a mistake, and repeat it the next week. Because the conflict isn't between you and the market. It's between the trader you are now and the trader you think you are. And this is where the paradox sharpens. The more you try to control the market, the more the market controls you. But the more you try to control yourself, the more the market becomes predictable. It's a razor's edge, a psychological knife fight. Every trader enters without armor. I remember watching a chart move violently during a news release, my hands sweating, my pulse pounding. Part of me wanted to dive in. Part of me wanted to run away. Part of me wanted to wait. Part of me wanted to risk everything. For traders, all inside one mind. That's the inner conflict. Livermore faced it too. But what separated him from the crowd wasn't intelligence. It was brutal honesty with himself. He confronted his contradictions instead of hiding them. And so must we. Because until you understand the paradox inside you, until you accept that you are at war with your own instincts, you will never hear the market clearly. This leads us directly into the next section, where we'll expose the most dangerous psychological trap in trading, the one Livermore battled all his life, and the one destroying traders today, silently, daily, relentlessly. The trap that doesn't just steal money, it steals years. The market doesn't kill traders. Their own illusions do. Have you ever held a losing trade simply because you wanted to be right? Comment below. Your honesty might help someone else break their own trap. Every trader, no matter how skilled, no matter how experienced, eventually falls into one defining psychological trap. The trap of expectation over observation. This trap is ancient. Livermore fell into it. I fell into it. And right now, thousands of traders around the world are falling into it at this very moment. Glued to screens, hoping the market will bend to their will. Let me tell you the truth. From inside the battlefield, the most dangerous moment in trading is when your belief becomes stronger than the chart. That's the moment you stop seeing price and start seeing what you want price to be. It's the moment your analysis becomes your prison. It's the moment the market becomes your enemy instead of your teacher. This trap has many disguises. The market has to reverse here. This breakout must continue. It can't go any lower. It's oversold. It must bounce. I'm sure my entry was right. The market is wrong. Every sentence above is a rope tightening around a trader's neck. And the more emotionally invested you become, the deeper the trap pulls you in. Livermore described this trap indirectly when he said, "The market is never wrong. Opinions often are." Notice something crucial. He wasn't warning about technical opinions. He was warning about emotional opinions. The opinions we craft to protect our ego. The opinions we use to avoid pain. The opinions we defend even as our accounts crumble. Let me take you into the psychology behind it. When a trader enters a position, something subtle happens. Their identity links to the direction of the trade. If the trade goes in their favor, they feel smart, skilled, validated.